Carmen! Without warning, two women and a man burst through Carmen's front door. The male was wearing a blue tailcoat with dark gray accents. One of the females had to duck her head to get through the door. She looked like a mouse with extremely long, digi-jointed legs. Her tall ears twitched in different directions as she looked around. The brunette stepped forward. She was wearing a dark teal tunic. Her hand rested on the hilt of her sword. "They are on their way. Our spies alerted us that he's coming in person. We knew you would need assistance. You cannot delay taking the girl." Carmen stood from her seat. The chair fell on its back. "Wait! Thought I had 2 more days!" She glanced at the trio. All of them were wearing blue bandanas around their necks. The brunette shook her head. "No, they found my wild shape, and he is coming. Iris is coming now." Carmen's eyes widened with fear. "I was just writing a letter to Thocath." She snatched 2 envelopes off the table. One was already closed, with cash written on it. The other empty, with Thocath on it. She took the letter from the table and shoved it into an empty envelope. "Let me put this in the car. Then we will get her." "No, Carmen. Let me do it. You need to get the girl now. My father is waiting at the airport. He will help make sure she gets on the plane." The woman held her hand out for the letter. "Thank you, Valderia." The man wearing the tailcoat paused and looked at Carmen. "Wait, Thocath? Are you sure you want to do that to Lexi?" Carmen locked eyes with him. "I do not have time nor desire to explain further, Alcor." Alcor scowled, but he did not give a response. Carmen turned her attention to Valderia, who took the letter with a solemn expression on her face. She bowed her head and left through the front door. Her eyes darted in every direction, looking for any sign of confrontation. When she reached the trunk of the vehicle, she heard a branch break. Valderia opened the trunk and placed the letter inside. "I was hoping you would not come, Haldor." She closed the trunk, pivoted, and drew her swords. "Well, when we discovered your wild shape, I knew you would be here." Haldor smirked, dressed in a long yellow tailcoat with black pants. His blonde hair was neatly combed back. His left eye was covered with an eye patch. The matching mob stood menacingly behind him. The large group of people all had black markings around their eyes. He drew a blade from his black cane. Haldor raised the rapier. "I have to keep you busy to give Iris's men a chance." He motioned for the mob to rush the house. They all nodded and sprinted for the front door. "Alcor, they brought Haldor!" Valderia's gaze was on the front door. Haldor took advantage of her slight distraction. He attacked her with his blade. She let a wicked smile cross her face as she blocked it with ease. She glanced back and cursed under her breath when she saw the mage use a spell to knock the door off its hinges. Carmen paused at the top of the stairs. Her attention was caught by the forced entry of Iris's men. "Damn it!" she swore under her breath before rushing down the hallway. Alcor was ready when the door crashed to the floor and a group of enemies burst into the room. Alcor looked at the other female with large ears. "Fendris!" Fendris looked at the ceiling and its vaulted height. She nodded before she hopped on top of the kitchen table, pulled her 2 crossbows from the harnesses on her back, and with deadly precision she fired off her dual crossbows. One of the enemies received an arrow in the shoulder before his head was severed by Alcor's blade. A cultist rushed for Fendris. She jumped to the opposite side of the table to avoid his grasp. The long rectangular table acted like a sawhorse. The foe was catapulted into the vaulted ceiling. He fell under his weight. Dang it. He fell to the center of the table and it snapped under his weight. Fenris hopped off while reloading her weapon. Alcor gracefully spun with his legs out. Leg out. I need to say that. Alcor gracefully spun with his leg out. He tripped a cultist as they went to stab him. This forced the attacker to fall with his blade first, right into the unconscious colleague lying upon the remains of the table. Fenris then fired an arrow into the man, now trying to receive his weapon from his ally who tripped. The man gave out a gasp before life left his eyes. Alcor, you should not even be here. You have no idea what you are protecting. The mage started a fire spell. My presence is of no concern to you. The mage caught an arrow just above his heart. Alcor took advantage of this, and his blade sliced his head off. The surviving attackers watched in horror as Alcor severed the head of their lead mage with his sword, and they fled.